think they knew, because that was right when I began speaking with Xavier Poussard. And I was in London at the time, and I had agreed to interview him, but nobody knew I was going to do this interview. So what made them suddenly send this intimidating letter?
And Tom Clare sent it?
Tom Clare sent it.
They'd already retained him.
They had retained him, and he sent a letter, and I think that they were monitoring Xavier Poussard. I think they were monitoring either his communications or monitoring him.
How else would they have known?
That he was flying to London to sit down and do an interview with me, and they sent it just a week before I sat down with him.
Well, keep in mind, the subject of your story controls some of the most competent intel services in the world.
Correct.
Yeah.
As a head of state, they're not
moving around deep ground.
Mm-hmm.
Which is enough to make you a little uncomfortable if you think about it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they would hire those two lawyers, by the way, his wife, Libby Locke, is Bill Ackman's lawyer, who Ackman uses to make people shut up.
Interesting.
By sending hysterical letters, screechy letters, threatening to destroy you if you keep talking about the client. I mean, it's really thuggish. Let's just go through, but can we just go through, like, chronologically how this unfolded? So at the core of the story is the allegation that Brigitte Macron is not who she says she is, and that would include her sex. Is not what she says it is.
Correct. That she was born a man named Jean-Michel Trogneux. And I'm aware, if you have not watched the series, that sounds crazy, because that was me when I first saw the headline.
Yes, no. I mean...
I was alerted to it by the Daily Mail. I thought it was such a crazy, insane headline.
It sounds like a fake story.
The Daily Mail had done this, had published an article.
See, that's the shit. The internet will have anything. Motherfuckers on the internet will say anything. But then sometimes you get people to get to being like, what? Let me dig and investigate and get into this. And then sometimes when people get to digging and digging and digging, they might be like, hey, yo, man, I think this shit true. And when you get to talk about powerful people, those powerful people might could crush you. Yo. That's a fact. Write something down.
Saying that with a video of Emmanuel Macron denying claims his wife was a man. And I just thought that's really funny. Like, what could possibly be going on in France that the president has to deny a claim that his wife's a man? But something that caught my eye was just, as I was reading this article, they made no effort to debunk it. Like, it was sort of like, it was that typical CNN, New York Times, so it's so crazy. It's like, okay, but if it's so crazy, just, post some photos of her. Obviously, she's got 3 kids. There's got to be tons of photos of her raising her children. There's nothing. They had one solitary photo, and when you look at the photo, it was very obvious, and this is before I got into the details, that she looks a lot more like the little boy that's on the left than she does who they were trying to purport was the little girl that was sitting on the family member's lap. And so I got into it kind of very organically. I was like, this is weird. Like, what's going on in France that the president has to make a comment on the situation? And then I found a website where it explained it, and I instantly realized there is something here. Like, you don't have any photos of yourself for 30 years of your life, and the 2 photos that you've given have been given to the public from a woman who has quite literally been charged with forging documents. She's a thug. Mimi Marchand, they had to eventually get rid of her. Forging documents, thuggery, things of that nature, of a criminal nature. She's the only one. Everyone's going to go through her to get any information about your past. It's so strange. It's so kooky that you...
Bro, that is kooky. And yo, if a lot of people not used to dealing in the truth, but if you used to dealing in the truth, do you know how easy it is to get the truth across? And like, some people like, nah, no. Just because people deny the truth don't mean they don't know it's the truth. And let me tell you something else about the truth. It just feel fucking good when you telling the truth, when you know you in the right, when you really got something to stand on. You ain't even wetting it like that. Let's continue.
Wouldn't just... The defense to this is just, hey, could you show us any pictures of your living for these 30 years? You had allegedly 3 children. Did you guys take any photos while you were raising them? Maybe when you were in the hospital? No, Tucker. There's nothing there.
So it's an amazing...
You got 3 kids. Y'all ain't take no pictures when y'all was raising them. What's going on here? Can we see pictures of you when you was pregnant? Y'all ain't got no pictures when you was pregnant?
allegation, a stunning allegation, a bewildering allegation. But I think the legal and the moral question is, did you give an opportunity? Did you give the prime minister and his wife an opportunity, the Macrons, the opportunity to respond to the allegation before the series ran? So that's my question.
Weeks to respond.
And what way did you do that? Did you call them? Did you?
Via Tom Clare, was their lawyer. So it actually, they kind of made a mistake. They messaged us first to kind of intimidate us and say, you know, you're working on this thing, or you're talking,
Did they say how they knew you were working on it?
I am not clear, because what was interesting is in that first letter, they included claims of what I said while I was working at the Daily Wire. That was the previous March. So you're responding to something that I said in March. We're now in December. So what triggered you? Like, clearly it had to have been that I had just interviewed Xavier Broussard and they were aware of it. So then they said, okay, send her out a letter to intimidate her. And obviously getting a letter for most people, you get a letter from a sitting president of France, you're going to go, okay, well, I'm just going to be quiet and not say anything more because I don't want to get involved in this. But for me, it just made me even more curious. And so to be sure, I said,
you're the president of France. You're president of a major country. I imagine being the president of any country comes with some power. But you got time to be sending Candace a letter like she said, I'm just a mom doing a podcast in my basement. Y'all kind of on my body. Is something true around here? Did I hit a nerve?
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
What's going on here?
well, I'm glad we have a line of communication established, because I'm certainly not interested in defaming you. I'm not interested in lying. Obviously, I would do myself a disservice if all of this was complete crap and it turned out that I had been peddling it. So here are my questions. Very simple, yes or no questions. Did you ever live as Veronique? Who is Jean-Michel Trogneux? Refused to answer. They just instantly got...
So you presented the allegations to them, which they, of course, were aware of, that people had made, others, not you, that she's not really who she says she is. Mm-hmm. And you said, can you explain?
Yeah, and honestly, didn't require much of an explanation. We also asked, can you give us any photos of you living through this 30-year period? I mean, pretty easy stuff. If you're actually concerned and you're going to pretend you're so traumatized and defamed because of the story, I would have been like, yeah, of course, here I am. Here's me in middle school. Here's me on a cheerleading team. Here's me the first day I held my first son. Here's me. It's such an easy thing to debunk that it requires the suspension of common sense to believe that this is a conspiracy theory, because it's so easy to debunk, and yet they refuse to do it, and they're being extremely petty and going after every single person that speaks about it. Now,
have they ever provided that evidence to anybody?
No, that's the point. They haven't.
To this day.
They would have never had to sue anybody, because everyone would have then laughed at them. Like, if someone was working on a story saying that I lived as a man for 30 years, I don't need to lawyer up. I want you to publish that story so that I can then come out and say, this person is a psychopath. Clearly, here is the trove of me growing up with my sisters. Here's my middle school yearbook. To the contrary, even when Xavier Broussard, because he has been worked on this for 10 years and therefore filing paperwork with the government to get pictures. Jean-Michel Trogneux has a military file. He also filed to get Brigitte's school yearbook, where she's allegedly has a picture, and he won that case and then took it to Sacre-Cœur, which is Sacred Heart, and they said, we're not releasing it. I don't care if you won the case. We're refusing to release this to you. So in every regard, something that would be able to dispel this rumor, even her children, where are your kids in this? If that's my mom and she's so attacked and it's so horrifying that she's got to put, my dad, stepdad on a plane to go speak to the President of the United States, way before then, I would have released pictures of me and my mom. Her kids are all adults. I would have said, here's me and my mom growing up on my first birthday, my second birthday. Please, everyone, leave her alone. They won't do it. It's bonkers to think.
Have the kids spoken in public?
Only one child has ever spoken and called the rumors crazy and upsetting, and that's her youngest daughter, Tifon. And I have a theory about why that is, but again, there's no evidence to supply. Tifon won't go under oath. Tifon won't speak. Tifon won't say, oh no, she just says it's very hurtful and it's not true. And okay, Tifon, well, you have the power to dispel this by just releasing some photos of you growing up. You're a 40-year-old lawyer.
Some people will be like, yo, why y'all can't mind your business?
With your mom.
How about this?
And they won't do it.
No.
Here's a revealing
Once you told a lie. You told a lie. You a president. You a fucking sitting president, and you telling these kind of lies. Maybe, whatever. The people was on in that, and we want to know.
Even designed to go forward.
No.
They're not planning on a courtroom showdown here.
And there's no way. By the way, I engaged with Libby Locke and Tom Clare a long time ago about defamation, and they told me not to go after it because the bar was so high. And I had a very clear case where someone told a blatant lie about me, which we happily countered right away.
You've dealt with them before.
Yeah. Oh, I have emails from. This is the funny part. I have emails from them. I love you, adore you, watch your show.
They're totally soulless, both of them.
Yeah, clearly.
Yes.
The motive here is money, which is fine if that's what you want your legacy to be, because at the core of this case, which most people should be speaking about, is their defense here is I am admitting, which they've never done before, and they've now admitting that Emmanuel Macron was only 14 when they met, when he was in that play, 15, she says, whenever this affair happened. And in my suit, they admit that Emmanuel Macron's parents took him away from the school because of this relationship. Do you understand how the audacity of, I'm a creep, I macked on a student at best, and I have the audacity to file this lawsuit? I mean, what is going on in France that you would so willfully put that in a lawsuit, which by...
He was 14 when his wife, who they saying might seen him in a play. But then the wife doubled down and say, oh yeah, but then we didn't start the affair till we was 15. 30 years older than him, I was his teacher. Where in the world do we be like, oh, okay, cool. And that's why I'm saying it all sound fishy. What? Wait, hold on.
By the way, debunks their earlier claims. When he was first running, the press said he was 17. Then, when Xavier Poussard proved that that wasn't true, then suddenly we're saying he was 16. Now we've got them writing that he was 15. But the truth is that Emmanuel Macron was 14. And they can't go back on that truth because she has...
Isn't that child molestation?
There we go. That's another big thing happening here. She's desperate now to keep it at 15. Brigitte wants to keep it at 15. No, he was 14 when he was in that play that she says
14,
that she watched him in. As you know, 14-year-old boys, I guess as a 40-year-old woman, you would just be so swept away by a 14-year-old child on stage. He was in this play. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a French name, Mila Kundera's play. And that's when she alleges that she saw him and he just was ahead of his time, a savant, so brilliant in his demonstration, his ability to act. He's
a little kid.
He's a child.
Y'all got kids. If you are watching this, you see this on YouTube, Twitch. You see a clip of this on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Let me know. Like, your kid 14, 15 in the play, the teacher like, yo, I'm going to have a relationship with him. What?
He's a child, and this is a very creepy, sadistic story. And the more that you learn how much the press lied about that earlier story, I mean, even the press in the beginning, when he was running, even said that Brigitte Macron was this like irresistibly hot teacher. Like they kept comparing her to Claudia Schiffer. And then when Xavier and these journalists got documents and like, you know, pictorial evidence of what Brigitte looked like at that time, she looked like a man in the middle of a transition, you know, and so.
Candace.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy. Candace straight faced that whole little soliloquy. She straight faced that.
Debunks their earlier claims. When he was first running, the press said he was 17. Then, when Xavier Poussard proved that wasn't true, then suddenly we're saying he was 16.
This sound like how
now we
liars
got them
be to
writing
me.
that he was 15.
This
But the
sound
truth
like how liars
is that
be
Emmanuel
acting.
Macron was 14. And
Honey
they can't
sweet
go
number.
back on that truth because she has...
Isn't that child molestation?
There we
Hey,
go.
Tucker.
That's another big thing happening here. She's desperate now to keep it at 15. Brigitte wants to keep it at 15. No, he was 14 when he was in that play that she says that she watched him in. And as you know, 14-year-old boys, I guess as a 40-year-old woman, you would just be so swept away by a 14-year-old
Swept
child
away.
on stage. He was in this play. I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a French name, Mila Kundera's play. And that's when she alleges that she saw him and he just was ahead of his time, a savant, so brilliant in his demonstration, his ability to act.
He's
He's a
amazing.
little kid.
He's a child. He's a child. And this is a very creepy, sadistic story. And the more that you learn how much the press lied about that earlier story, I mean, even the press in the beginning, when he was running, even said that Brigitte Macron was this like irresistibly hot teacher. Like they kept comparing her to Claudia Schiffer. And then when Xavier and these journalists got documents and like, you know, pictorial evidence of what Brigitte looked like at that time, she looked like a man in the middle of a transition, you know. And so even that, I mean, the way the press lies
Tell
to
me.
sell this creepy relationship.
Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter jelly. There she go, the lady of my dreams.
Hey, yo. I don't know where the fuck the world going. But I don't feel like it's going in the right direction. It's not right, all right? Humans. Hey, yo, Trump, if you find out this true, bro, do the right thing, Trump. Let us all know. In fact, next time you link up with him, and y'all got all the major news cameras around the world on y'all, let us know. Ask him, be like, yo, bro, what's up with your lady? Your lady dude friend. Whatever. Say that shit, Trump, please. Because now I done got caught up in this for real, and I need to know. I got to know. Yo, ever since I got up on this story, this shit has been fucking with my head, yo. I'm laying down to sleep at night and I'm like, nah. I'm like, ain't no way this could be happening with a sitting president somewhere. I mean, France? Nah. The French president wife can't be putting the Eiffel in Eiffel Tower.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Boo, not the Eiffel and Eiffel Tower, though. She putting the Zaza in Gabor. I don't even know.